November 9th, 2004, Bungie Studios is poised to make history yet again with their release of Halo 2, the second installment in the Halo franchise and the sequel to the 2001 critically acclaimed Halo Combat Evolved. Featuring a new game engine as well as the Havoc physics engine, Halo 2 came out of the box looking better than anything we had ever seen before. New weapons, vehicles, and amazing multiplayer maps jam-pack this disc full of content. And although time constraints would eventually force cutbacks in the size and scope of the game, Halo 2 would go on to become the greatest selling Xbox game of all time with 6.3 million copies being sold. And of course, the multiplayer. Over 500 million games played, with over 710 million hours spent on Xbox Live. Welcome back to Halo Retro, a look at the history of the Halo series, the impact it has had on console gaming, and the overarching themes that bridge this series together, all in preparation for the upcoming Halo 4. So Halo 2, what can be said about this instrumental game? Not only did Bungie innovate and refine the single player, but they completely changed console gaming forever yet again, with a near-perfect multiplayer system. I will go into further detail upon the multiplayer after a brief bit on the campaign. The campaign was very good, but had a few shortcomings. The ending finished on a cliffhanger due to time constraints on Bungie's end. Also, at times, the new venture into cutscenes didn't always work for Bungie. Low-res textures occasionally would pop into high-res. But looking back now, my perception of the game and critics alike was a strong, fun campaign. Split-screen co-op was implemented and became a staple from thereafter. Multiple runs of the campaign were encouraged with the scaling, difficulty levels, and skulls. Biggest push within Halo 2 was the venture of storytelling. A new character known as the Arbiter allowed the player to not only see the galaxy from Spartan 117's point of view, but to take on the role of a Covenant elite and get an insight into the conflict being waged across the galaxy. The campaign once again featured a scale and size unheard of, venturing from Earth to Halo to Forerunner structures, truly giving the player the feel of a galactic-wide war. It should be said that encounters within Halo 2 were immensely fun. Challenging sections had to be played over and over to obtain success, but every single repetition of said encounter remained unique and different. Never would the AI react in the same way. Skirmishes would always have an element of change that made the game so addictive. This video cannot be complete without an in-depth view at the multiplayer and the immense impact it had on console gaming. Simply put, Halo 2's multiplayer was the best of its time and remains one of the best of all time. It introduced to Xbox Live the paradigm for matchmaking players together. Playlists were introduced in an automated process that kept a steady flow of games available at all times, and a layer of skill put on top with a ranking system, and you suddenly have a beautiful system. I don't want to become over nostalgic, but many critics as well as myself believe that the Halo 2 multiplayer, still to this day, was by far the best in the series. The flow, speed, balance, and the community were dang near perfect at the time. Of course, at high-level play, as with all games, there were some slight complaints of imbalances, but for the majority of the population playing the game, flawless is a term that comes to mind. The maps were play-tested to perfection and still have reproductions being produced to this day in current generation Halo games. I could go on and on gushing about Halo 2's multiplayer. If you are one of the lucky ones who played Halo 2 on Xbox Live, the experience is incomparable. This is where I personally fell in love with Halo. I spent hundreds of hours on my friend's couch, playing online Halo 2 together, and I truly miss those days. Halo 2 raised the bar in so many ways. It cannot be stressed just how important the multiplayer was to the growth of console shooters online. A strong campaign and co-op feature equally added worth to this great product. Bungie Studios succeeded once again in changing console gaming forever. The multiplayer footage in this Halo Retro was brought to you by Diddy, a director here on Halo Zone. Massive thanks out to him for providing the multiplayer footage. It was from Halo 2 PC release. I will see you all next time, where we're tackling the giant, the conclusion of the trilogy, Halo 3. Great news, viewers! At the end of each episode of Halo Retro, Halo Zone will be giving away a copy of Halo 4 to one of you lucky viewers. You'll be contacted via YouTube if you win. Winner selected randomly from the comments below. Say something nice, preferably. Subscribing is absolutely not necessary, but what we do ask is that you take a look around Halo Zone, see if you like it, and if you do, we would love to see you here in the future. Thank you again. Best of luck.